Jedi taught me their ways, but I never truly believed in them. I was bound by my own desires. My selfishness always found a way to put them first. My heart, my resolve, my purpose was weak. That's why anything I feared became my foe. I was flailing in a web of my own design. Now I see the two of us were never foes to begin with.
Welcome everyone to What the Force. I'm Marie-Claire Gould, your host, and today we are covering Visions Volume 3, The Bird of Paradise. And joining me to talk all about this is Hammy. Welcome back, Hammy.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited. This one's a good one.
It's a banger.
Grab a snack, settle in. We're about to go on a journey.
We have a journey to do. And when I saw the art for this at Star Wars Celebration, this is the one I was most excited for. Because I knew it would be just super psychological. I was very excited.
and it's beautifully animated. The artwork itself too that goes along with it. It gives you that ethereal, otherworldly feeling.
After a young Jedi is blinded in battle, she must undergo a series of spiritual trials in order to overcome the temptation of the dark side.
Love to see it.
Oh my
Love
goodness. So we have Nakami?
Yeah, I think they say Nakame.
Nakame. And she's got a really cool outfit. She has tails of braids tied behind her head. She's got a wrap around her head with kind of a little flourish. Her outfit itself is beautifully designed. And then she's got these little bird phoenix earrings. And yeah, she's gorgeous, man.
Yeah, the bird earrings, obviously connecting to the name of the episode, the Bird of Paradise. Very cool.
Yep. And her and her master are fighting a Sith on top of a mountain.
Very cool.
And Nakame is not listening.
Yeah, she's very hot-headed. She is stubborn, doing her own thing. Her master is trying to tell her, do not let your emotions rule over you.
Yeah. And so oftentimes when we have these sorts of situations where you have a maiden archetype, somebody who is under a mentor's management, there is often a fall into the underworld as part of a heroine's journey so that you can actually connect with your inner goddess. And there are so many things in this that I knew would happen, but I didn't see coming. And so I'm so happy about it.
No, I love it. Obviously, we all connect with the heroine's journey. Not to always make it about Rey, but a lot of us theorized about that leading into Rey's story. So we're all very familiar with it. And so to see this example, I mean, Rey is hot-headed, but Nakame is just doing everything wrong. Yeah, angry, filled with anger, not a Jedi, not the way the Jedi should be. I think the Sith is even taunting her, trying to get a rise out of her because she knows that's weakness. That's weakness for a Jedi to show those negative parts of themselves.
Exactly. I do want to comment on blindness as disability. I did do an episode on that where we had a really amazing discussion with a good friend of the show, Ryan, who talked about blindness in Star Wars. Together, he actually has some blindness and so can speak to it from a very important place. Missy also talked about it from a folklore and fairy tale motif perspective. I think it's a really important episode because oftentimes blindness is not used in kind ways within story. Right. And sometimes it's used as you're blind and now you have a superpower, which I don't think is done in that way in this. So I do want to call that out, that this was done in an interesting and thoughtful way in this.
Yes. No, I'm so glad you highlighted that episode. And I agree. The blindness instead is supposed to be metaphorical. Later on, it said she has blindness in her heart, not in her eyes. And so it's supposed to be like a mythic fairy tale kind of where she is blinded and then has to go through this journey.
It leans into those fairy tale concepts that blindness is psychic dismemberment. You're
Yes.
being disconnected from a piece of yourself that you have to rediscover. And how you do that is by being stripped away of the things that you thought you were. Similar to the tale of Inanna, where she goes and visits her sister Ereshkigal in the darkness, who is her twin, her evil twin, who is in the underworld and is the evil version of herself. And so as she approaches and as she is taken into the underworld, she is stripped of all of her things that she thought she was. So her hair is let down, she's stripped of all of her jewelry, she's stripped of her clothes, she's stripped of her mantle, all of these things that she thought she was. And that is, in a psychological way, an ego death. And so that pushes her into understanding that she is empty and dead. And then she faces the dark goddess in
Yes.
the underworld.
It's a humbling of the highest sort.
Yeah, exactly. And so she's blinded by this Sith, blinded, cut down, her eyes are damaged, and she falls down from the cliff down into kind of the ravine. And that's when we start to get these flash-ups of day one, day of insolence, darkness, then light. And she pretty much is just in this experience of like coldness and frustration. She stumbles around trying to find stuff. It's really interesting.
Yes. And she's frustrated because she wakes up and she doesn't know where she is. She can't see. And it's kind of like the worst version of herself has just landed there because she just finished this fight or was defeated in this fight, and so she's got a lot of anger, all of her worst part of herself, or so she's frustrated. She's like reaching around and she's like, why can't I find anything? And then she finds her broken lightsaber and she throws it, like she uses the force to kind of grab her lightsaber, and then she's like, why is it broken? And then she like slams it, and she's just very disrespectful to her lightsaber.
Yeah. And she finds the statue and feels it and is like a face, but then she sees these lights that guide her into the forest.
Yes. But before that, when she finds the statue, she falls to her knees and she begs for the chance to live. And it's not, you can tell that it's very negative, that she hasn't gone on the journey yet, that she's very much just caring about whether she lives or dies, not so much about herself and her internal journey. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, like you said, she finds these lights pop up and she's like, oh, what's this? And then she kind of follows them further into the forest.
And then we get the second sort of title card.
Yes.
Day 2, Day of Desire, Sky and Water, a board between land and sky.
Very cool. So she's walking around and she starts to feel the rain falling. The sky is open above me, and she's kind of walking around and she falls into this pool, and because she doesn't see it, obviously she's still blinded, and then she starts she thinks that she's dying within the pool. So basically each of the days that she knows she's grappling with her death, her ego death, as MC said.
Exactly. And yeah, she sort of like tries to figure out where she is in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And ends up like pulling herself out and drinking from the water, but the water is like gross.
Yes.
And so she has this
she gags.
vision.
Mm-hmm. And then she has this vision where she thinks she hears her droid from before, and she's like, where's my master? And then she hears her master, and her master says, trust in the force and its energy that binds all living things, as any master would do.
Yeah.
And I understand her frustration. She starts yelling and she's like, don't lecture me. And so of course then they kind of disappear. Like, it's very cool art in that moment. It's almost like leaves or water that they kind of just like break apart, and the droid disappears and the master disappears. So you know that she's still not learned her lesson.
And then the third title card, Day 3, Indignation, plants bloom upon the land. And she is like reaching out and touching the trees, and the way of life is no mystery to an old tree like you. And she feels sick from the water and hears lightsabers, and is swallowed by this like dreamlike or vision-like darkness worm.
Yeah, she still can't see it, but she senses the darkness, but we can see the worm.
We see the worm in the imageries, and she's in a cave, and so of course this is a big This is a like worm being consumed, right? Being consumed by a cave. You're in the earth, you're in the underworld, you're back in the womb, you're ready to be transformed, reborn, kind of face the thing that you absolutely need to face in the darkness so that you can learn from it and you can take that darkness back with you. The darkness is the energy that you have given away, that you have lost.
And as we mentioned, actually, even within Visions Volume 3, we had another cave, but caves are very common in Star Wars. Like we said, Luke goes into a cave, Rey,
Obi-Wan.
on and on.
Yeah, they go on and on. Caves and caves motifs are one of the very common. I've done an entire episode on this, all about how caves do represent this mythological return to Mother Earth or the womb. You know, the idea that we are going back to both life, the beginning of life, the origin of life, but also our deaths at the same time, because those are interconnected psychologically from a mythic motif perspective. So when we have the worm eating her, it's very much like Jonah and the whale, that sort of same idea. You're being consumed, things are bigger than you, and you have to like let it happen to you.
Yes. And of course we do have multiple worms on Star Wars as well.
Yeah,
we have obviously in the original trilogy, and then Rey heals a snake, but I would consider that a type of worm.
Exogorth. Yep.
Yes.
The exogorth that eats the Millennium Falcon, or tries to eat it. You know, she meets herself and is struck down in death and in fire. So this is like an equivalent of a spiritual death.
In the cave, she comes upon her dead body. That's what it is. She thinks it's her master because she sees a body that's cloaked, and she thinks it's her master. So she goes up to it and she's like, "Master!" And then she turns the body over, and it's her own face. Ew, we love it.
It's very Luke from Dagobah. It's that idea of confronting your own death. But yeah, so the fourth day comes up, day of idleness, sun and moon, the birth of night. So these are like, you know, psychological opposites in the same setting. So this is the preamble and precursor to an alchemical union moment, because alchemical union, or conientio, is the idea that opposites can exist in the same moment and in the same place and in the same person. So sun and moon, the birth of night or death, is the idea of what they're trying to say. And
no, I love that. In the earlier title cards, we had that as well, with darkness then light, sky and land. It's very opposites, and of course that mirrors the journey that she's on, that it's about the light and the dark. We talked about it in one of the earlier episodes. I think you said someone on Reddit didn't understand one of the episodes because they were like, well, how is it light and dark both? That's not Star Wars at all. And that's exactly what we think Star Wars is about.
Let me tell you. And her stomach is rumbling, always hungry for more. We hate to be told no. And then she's dreaming of the past, the Sith Amon, the Sith that she was fighting up on the hill. And this to me represents like her start of this like dark goddessy moment. Like it's start of this, right? So it's like, is it this foe that I need to fight? Actually, no, it's not going to be the foe, but surrender to your emotions. You try and hide away. Allow your fear and anger to claim you.
So that dark figure that she is confronted by is the one that's saying this. I also wanted to point out hunger. Like the Jedi aren't so much into Buddhists. Like they kind of remind me of Buddhists a little bit. And so it's about letting that go. The hunger, the worldly, it's kind of all of the worldly possessions and worldly wants. Hunger is one of them. And so it's supposed to be kind of metaphorical. It's not so much like, oh, she's literally hungry. It's more about wanting things and she's always been told no for these things. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly Buddhism, there's like a bunch of different schools of thought around it, in that like if you're hungry, just eat, like don't starve yourself, things like that. Right? Like
yes,
that's where like the happy Buddha the plump Buddha comes from, right?
Mm-hmm.
But hunger actually also ties to that consumption motif, that you're being broken down. Like
Mm-hmm.
the hunger is consumption, your desire to always eat, right? It's interesting.
So the
Um,
goddess, the dark figure that confronts her, is saying all this to her and like, oh, give in to the dark side. But then Nakame says, my master told me that I can't keep making these decisions for my own benefit. Sense of self is my own undoing. So basically, she has to give up herself.
yeah, which
Her
is ego death. What did you think
yes,
you were? You have to give it up. Whatever you
and
thought you were. Yeah.
yes. So she's starting to realize like what her master is saying. She still hasn't fully realized it yet, but she is recalling that as she's faced with this dark figure.
Yes. Day 5, the title card. A prayer for life. Life crawls about the water. So this is like the rebirth motif, like the idea that things are born in the water, in the womb, things like that. And we have a nice George Takei cameo.
Yeah, such a surprise when I heard his voice.
It is your heart that is blind. Why lament your eyes?
I think he's supposed to be our Yoda figure.
Yeah,
But I did
he's
love
a
that
toad.
line.
He's a toad. He represents Yoda.
And so he tells Nakame, let the force guide you. And then does one of my favorite things that every master does, slaps her across the face. Because she kind of like, she's kind of sassy. So she sits down and she, crosses her legs and starts to try and meditate. And he's like, not like that. And he hits her. And he tells her that you need to be one with the current because there's like a stream or a waterfall near them. So she goes and stands under the waterfall and she's like shivering and she's like, why are you making me do all this? Like all these, but that's not exactly what he means. What he means is like trust in the forest. Like you're still blinded by your ignorance and all of your your hangups. And so he just wants her to like connect back to what is supposed to truly guide her, which is the force.
And then she sees the dark side version of herself. All of this anger causing these marks to appear on her, like in this strange writing, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the true death moment where you face the true dark goddess, which is what you are when you are fully angry, evil, all of those things. Evil twin moment, right? So oftentimes
Yes.
in fiction, we see this as you're in a fight, like even Marvel movies, you fight
Mm-hmm.
the opposite version of yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? The mirrored
Um,
self moment.
And I appreciate this because I think the reason we like this episode so much, not just because, of course, it's psychological, it's mythological, it's all of those things that we enjoy about Star Wars, but also the fact that they're choosing to make the evil yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not that because Nakame is so evil. She's not evil. She's not a Jedi. But the problem is she gives into those weaker parts of herself, which we're all guilty of doing. It's part of being human. She says, my immaturity, my impulsiveness, my ego, my fear of death. She realizes that was what was causing her problems, why her master was trying to get through to her, that she was kind of letting those things drive that vengeance that she wanted for that Sith. She was afraid to die, and so that's why she's being put through this journey.
And then she has to move past her weakness, and the dark version of herself demands that she kill her. So kill the dark version of herself.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, she allows dark Nakami to stab her, right? So
Which
she
is
dies,
awesome.
which is
Yes.
awesome, because I want to actually take this and bring this to a moment. In Clone Wars season 6, Yoda fights a shadow version of himself and he kills the shadow.
Yes.
And you cannot kill the shadow.
No, you're not supposed to. And for
this,
context,
she loves the shadow. She's like, the two of us were never foes to begin with. You are a part of me. I am, and I of you. Have you always been afraid of me too?
yes, and I love that. I'm so glad you thought of that Yoda comparison from Clone Wars, because of course at that time in Clone Wars it's right before Anakin's fall. So
Yeah.
Yoda himself is blinded, and so that's why he kills that dark side of himself instead of accepting that dark side and being able
that's
to
why
relate
he goes off
Anakin.
into exile, because he cannot face the darkness within himself. He can only hide. Luke goes off into exile because he cannot face the dark side of himself. Obi-Wan goes off into exile because of his shame. Like this is what you like. You ran and hide instead of facing it and being like, wait a second, maybe you're part of me too.
And I think I'm not sure why so many people are against the running away thing in fandom, when really that seems realistic to me. But
It's
the
realistic
idea.
if you can't face it, right? It is.
Yes.
It's called it, like, if you are in a passive crone archetype, so that's past the leader of the universe or whatever, like whatever Luke was before he ended up hiding away, or whatever Yoda was, who was in charge of the Jedi Council. If you can't face the fact that you face death and you're like
Hmm.
hiding away and you're very passive and you can't confront this, it's
Right.
called a hermit for a reason. You hide. You're a hiding crone. You cannot face these things. You're of the mentor age, but you can't face it. And oftentimes it's the young hero that pulls you out of that.
Yes, exactly. And makes you join the fight.
Yeah.
Reignites your like connection with your purpose and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good.
It's
I
so
love
good.
that though.
Yeah.
Because
But it's so
you know,
archetypical too. It
mhm,
is like
exactly.
like when you can't face the fact that you too die.
Yes, yes. And I mean, we're saying that MCR and I are only 21 years old. We're both we're both young, so we don't have to face
I'm
it
only
yet.
21. Whoa.
Yes, just
As I
kidding. We're
have
not.
a
We're not.
almost
But no,
adult
I
child.
like these I think a lot of times it's missed that
These are
there's this
archetypical.
bigger, yes, that there's this bigger story that's being told. It's not so much like, oh, literally like Luke tried to kill his nephew and so he ran away. Like that's bad storytelling. No, they're telling
No.
you something about him. And not just him, but Yoda too.
He wasn't able to confront his own darkness that he was leaning into in that
Mhm.
moment, you know?
Exactly. And you
Oh,
have to
so
do that
good.
over and over. It's not a one-time thing. But yes, so Nakame, because the reason she was able to get through this is because she accepts her dark side. So she allows her dark side to stab her, and then she holds her afterwards. She
Yeah.
comforts her.
And is like, and the dark side's like, I'm so afraid. Yeah, you are. You're the dark side, dude.
Mhm.
But you know, and she says like, death will no longer terrify me.
Mhm.
And we sort of like experience this like melting into the galaxy, and this is the apotheosis moment done symbolically. God, this episode is so good to explain concepts. Oh, I love it.
Yes.
So
And you literally
apotheosis
see.
is when
Sorry,
you
go ahead.
become one with the universe. You
Yes.
understand your place in the universe.
Yes, and we see that literally they join part of the galaxy. Like we see the galaxy above, and
Yeah.
she joins it. It's so good.
Oh
It's
man,
so
dude,
good.
I could do like a lecture on this episode. Like
And
just all of the symbolism and
yes, I love that it connects to all of the things that we love to talk about, but then it also is very much Star Wars. Like it's
yeah.
including, the lightsabers, the dark side, like all of that. I don't know. This is
And
what we
it's
want from Star Wars.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully
It's
animated.
beautiful. And
This is my favorite episode. Spoiler.
no, I mean, like, yeah, except for this, like the smuggler and this one, man, I love them. Oh, any other thoughts? I
Well,
just wanted,
I will.
oh yeah, she ends up like standing on
Yes.
the hilltop, looking out, and then can see, but everything is a different color.
Mm-hmm.
Like
She bows to the statue that she finds.
Right.
We're assuming it's an old Jedi statue. She bows to that statue, and then she awakens to her new life. So she's given back her life.
Yeah.
After going through this journey.
Yep.
And I really like that. Because you can't truly accept death thinking that you're going to come out alive on the other end. But I love that hopeful side that she does come out of it afterwards.
She does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, she didn't need to die just because she touched the darkness. She understood
Mhm.
it, and then like Joseph Campbell has this way of talking about fighting the darkness in the cave. The darkness is yourself. The dragon is yourself. It's always been yourself. And when Sigurd fought the dragon in the cave, this is the example that Joseph Campbell uses. He tastes the blood of the dragon, i.e. the darkness, and takes it with him, because then he has the power of the dragon with him. So it's not that you ignore the darkness. It's not that you just kill the darkness. You also have to take that lesson that you've learned from the darkness with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
Yes.
she does by comforting, having that
Mhm.
Pieta moment.
Yeah,
with
that's exactly what it was.
Her dark self, because she knows that her darkness is always with her. What?
So good.
Like snaps. Snaps. I knew this would be the one that I was like super excited about.
And I can't reiterate enough, like, I see Nakame in myself. Like, we all have those weaknesses. We all have that stuff. And I'm not happy-go-lucky hammy all the time.
But that's why it's important to tell it. It's like, yeah, we go through times when we're not good people. We go through times where we hurt those around us. We go through times where we hurt ourselves, or we can't see past where we are. Oh, it's just so good. Thank you. Thank you so much to Polygon Pictures.
Yes, you killed it. We loved it so much.
You killed it. We loved it. All right. Any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
No.
All
Great
right.
episode. Ready for the next one.
And the next one will be Black. So we will be returning with that one. Hammy, where can people find you if they're looking for you in the meantime?
I'm on Twitter at BalancePadawan, and I'm on Blue Sky as Hamza, Hamsa.
All right, everyone. Take care, and on to the last episode of Visions Volume 3. Thank you for listening to What the Force. I'm Marie-Claire Gould, your host. Our orchestral music is by Christy Carew for What the Force. You can support the show directly on Patreon at patreon.com/whattheforce. We would like to thank all our patrons, especially those who love and are obsessed with What the Force. Christian R., Adrian, Sarah Joy, Scott, John, In Wild Space, Minky Moo, Derek C., How Rude, Christian Luca, Carly Ann, and Scott C. Support the show by wearing the Force with our merch. Like and subscribe on YouTube, or leave a 5-star review on iTunes or other pod apps. It helps people find the show. You can connect with us on Blue Sky at WT Force, What the Force Podcast on Facebook, or on our website at whattheforce.ca, or our Discord. Links are in the liner notes. Feel free to reach out and start a conversation. Cheers.